Let's learn about tenses now. They are essential to learn any language. I'll tell you more about present, past and future tense.
An action can be broadly placed under any of the three tenses: the present tense, the past tense, or the future tense. The tense of a verb shows the time of an action or event. There are four forms in the present tense: past tense and future tense, indefinite or simple tense, continuous or imperfect tense, perfect tense, perfect continuous tense. Here we will learn about past tense. Past tense. There are four forms of past tense: indefinite or simple tense, continuous or imperfect tense, perfect tense, perfect continuous tense. Simple past tense. An action or activity completed in the past is called simple past tense. Examples: she sang a song. He played football. There are four types of simple past sentences: statement sentences, interrogative sentences, negative sentences, interrogative negative sentences. Statement sentences. A subject followed by the second form of the verb forms it. Form: subject plus the second form of the verb. I walked. We sang. You played. She stood. They sat. Simple past interrogative sentences. It is formed by did, followed by subject and first form of the verb. Did plus subject plus the first form of the verb. Examples: did I read? Did we sing? Did you play? Did he or she stand? Did they sit? Simple past negative sentences. Formed by the subject followed did not and first form of the verb. Form: subject plus did not plus the first form of the verb. Examples: I did not read. We did not sing. You did not play. She did not stand. She did not sit. Simple interrogative and negative sentences. These are formed by did not, followed by the subject and first form of the verb. Form: did plus not plus subject plus first form of the verb. Examples: didn't I read? Didn't we sing? Didn't you play? Didn't he stand? Didn't they sit? Past continuous tense. Past continuous tense is used to describe an action or activity going on at some time in the past. Examples: the boys were going to the school. I was speaking to my younger brother. There are 4 types of sentences under this tense. Statement sentences, interrogative sentences, negative sentences, interrogative negative sentences. Statement sentences. It is formed by the subject followed by was or were and verb, that is ing form. Form: subject plus was or were plus verb, that is ing form. Examples: I was reading. We were singing. You were playing. Or she was standing. They were sitting. Past continuous interrogative sentence. It is formed by was or were, followed by the subject and verb ing. Form: was or were plus subject plus verb ing. Example: was I reading? Were we singing? Were you playing? Was she standing? Were they sitting? Past continuous negative sentence. It is formed by the subject followed by was not or were not and verb, that is ing. Form: subject plus was not or were not plus verb ing. I was not reading. We were not singing. You were not playing. She was not standing. They were not sitting. Past continuous interrogative and negative sentences. They are formed by was not or were not, followed by subject and verb ing. Form: was or were plus not plus subject plus verb ing plus question. Examples: wasn't I reading? Weren't we singing? Weren't you playing? Wasn't he standing? Weren't they sitting? Past perfect tense. Past perfect tense describes an action or activity completed before a certain moment in the past. Examples: the principal had gone out. I had finished my homework. There are 4 types of sentences under this tense. Statement sentences, Interrogative sentences. Negative sentences. Interrogative negative sentences. Statement sentences. It is formed by the subject followed by had and third form of the verb. Past participle form. Subject plus had plus third form of verb. Past participle. Examples: I had read. We had sung. You had played. She had stood. They had sat. Past perfect interrogative sentence. It is formed by had, followed by the subject and third form of the verb. Past participle. Form: had plus subject plus third form of the verb. That is the past participle. Example: had I read. Had we sung. Had you played. Had he stood. Had they sat. Past perfect negative sentences. It is formed by the subject followed by had not and third form of the verb. Past participle. Form: subject plus had not plus third form of verb. Past participle. I had not read. We had not sung. You had not played. She had not stood. They had not sat. Past perfect interrogative and negative sentences. They are formed by had not, followed by subject and third form of the verb. Past participle. Form: had plus not plus subject plus third form of the verb. Past participle. Examples: hadn't I read. Hadn't we sung. Hadn't you played. Hadn't he stood. Hadn't they sat. Past perfect continuous tense. It is used for an action or activity which began at some time in the past and is still continuing. Example: the child had been sleeping for 3 hours and was still sleeping. The boys had been playing football since yesterday and were still playing. There are 4 types of past perfect continuous sentences. Statement sentences, interrogative sentences, negative sentences, interrogative negative sentences. Statement sentences. It is formed by the subject followed by had been and present participle. Form: subject plus had been plus first form of the verb plus ing. Examples: I had been reading. We had been singing. You had been playing. He or she had been standing. They had been sitting. Past perfect interrogative sentence. It is formed by had been followed by the subject and present participle. Form: had plus subject plus been plus first form of the verb plus ing plus question mark. Had I been reading? Had we been singing? Had you been playing? Had he or she been standing? Had they been sitting? Past perfect negative sentence. It is formed by the subject followed by had not been and present participle. Form: subject plus had not plus been plus first form of the verb. Examples: I had not been reading. We had not been singing. You had not been playing. He or she had not been standing. They had not been sitting. Past perfect interrogative and negative sentences. These are formed by had not, followed by subject, been and present participle. Form: had plus not plus subject plus been plus first form of the verb plus ing plus question mark. Examples: hadn't I been reading? Hadn't we been singing? Hadn't you been playing? Hadn't he or she been standing?
और शुक्रिया अदा नहीं करते। मैंने तो पहले से कभी नहीं सुना। अब सुन लिया ना, एक और बात सुन लो, मुझे आगे से कभी पिंकी मत कहना, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता। पहले मैंने कहा नहीं, पर अब कहती हूँ, मुझे मेरे नाम से ही बुलाना, समझी? सोनिया। बाबूजी भी मुझे इसी नाम से बुलाते हैं। बाबूजी, बाबूजी।